A billionaire walks into one of the most exclusive five-star hotels in the world. He's dressed in a sharp suit, looking confident, just like you'd expect. But something unexpected happens. Despite his wealth, power, and status, he's refused service. The staff at the hotel, well known for welcoming the elite, turns him away without a second thought. The billionaire, without raising his voice or causing a scene, simply leaves. What happens next will leave everyone stunned. The very next day, he makes a bold move. He buys the hotel. Why? Well, let's take a closer look. This hotel isn't just any hotel. It's a symbol of luxury, a place where only the wealthiest and most influential people stay. The building stands tall in the heart of the city, with a grand entrance and an interior that takes your breath away. Marble floors, sparkling chandeliers, and fine art hanging on every wall. Everything about the hotel screams exclusivity, from its famous five-star restaurant to the private penthouses reserved for world leaders and celebrities. This hotel is the epitome of wealth and status, the kind of place where only the richest could ever dream of staying. It's known all over the world for its perfection. But not everyone is welcome, at least not on the terms they expect. One day, the billionaire walks up to the entrance of this grand hotel, just like any other guest. He's a regular at top-tier places, used to the best of everything. The staff greets him at the door, but something feels off. They ask for his reservation, which he provides. But there's a pause, a slight hesitation. After a few moments, the staff member looks at him, almost apologetically, and informs him that there's no available room for him at the moment. Confused, he insists that he has a reservation. But the staff member remains firm. They explain that the hotel is fully booked, even though it's clear there are empty rooms. This isn't just a small mistake or mix-up. It's something more. The billionaire is being turned away, deliberately it seems. The staff claims they're following protocol, but the tension is thick. He's not a man who easily accepts being rejected. But instead of getting upset or raising his voice, he simply nods, turns around, and leaves. No anger, no confrontation. Just a quiet exit. The billionaire doesn't make a scene, but there's no doubt he's disappointed. It's not about the hotel or the rooms, it's about the way he was treated. He's been in this world long enough to know when something's off. But rather than reacting with anger or frustration, he remains calm. He's learned over the years that not everything is worth fighting for in the moment. Instead of demanding answers or making a fuss, he leaves quietly. There's no sense of rage or revenge in his step. Just a quiet confidence. His reaction is telling. He's been around long enough to know that power doesn't always come from making a scene or fighting for respect. Sometimes it comes from quiet control. And in that moment, he knows he has all the power he needs. Inside the hotel, things quickly return to normal. The staff goes back to their usual duties, and the managers don't think much of the incident. To them, it's just another mix-up. One of those things that happen from time to time. They're used to dealing with celebrities, high-profile guests, and wealthy individuals. A small mistake here or there, it's no big deal. But they don't realize just how big of a deal it actually is. The hotel has just turned away a billionaire, someone who could have brought in a lot of business. Yet to them, it's just another guest, just another day. They assume that the billionaire will forget about the incident and move on. They couldn't be more wrong. The very next day, the billionaire returns to the hotel. But this time, it's different. He's not just another guest looking for a room. He walks through the front doors, confident as always, but there's a change in his demeanor. This time, he doesn't ask for a room. He's there for something much bigger. The staff sees him again, but this time, they're not sure how to react. They remember the previous day's encounter, but aren't sure what's going to happen next. The billionaire doesn't stop at the front desk, though. Instead, he heads straight to the hotel manager's office. Everyone in the lobby watches as he walks by, some wondering what's going on. They can't help but feel that something is about to change. A few minutes later, the billionaire emerges from the manager's office. He walks with purpose, exuding an air of quiet authority. The hotel staff and guests watch as he stands at the center of the lobby, an unexpected silence settling around him. Then, without much fanfare, he makes his offer. He tells the manager, and everyone else nearby, that he wants to buy the hotel. Just like that, the staff is stunned. This isn't some typical transaction. This is a billionaire making a decision that could change everything. The offer is serious, and it's clear that the billionaire has already done his homework. The negotiations are swift. There's no back and forth, no drawn-out process. He knows what he wants, and he gets it. The next day, the deal is finalized, and the billionaire officially owns the hotel. He now holds the keys to the building, but more importantly, he holds the power to shape its future. The news of the sale spreads quickly. The hotel employees are left in shock. They can't believe what just happened. Just the day before, they had turned this man away, and now he owns the very hotel they work in. The staff members exchange confused glances. How did this happen? What does it mean for them? For the management, it's a reality they didn't expect. They never imagined a guest, especially one they had refused service to, would take ownership of the place. The billionaire now has control over the very establishment that once turned him down. The irony isn't lost on anyone. As the dust settles, it becomes clear that this wasn't just about buying a hotel. It's a bold move that sends a powerful message to everyone involved. Things at the hotel will never be the same. So why did the billionaire buy the hotel? Was it out of spite, a desire for revenge against those who had rejected him? Perhaps, but it's clear there's more to it than just a simple act of retaliation. The decision to purchase the hotel wasn't a rash move driven purely by anger. It was, in many ways, a deliberate statement. A statement that said he would not be overlooked or underestimated no matter where he went. The rejection wasn't just a personal affront, it was a challenge, and in his world, challenges are opportunities to show power. And not just power in terms of wealth, but power in its purest form, control. In his life, power has never been defined by the number of zeros on a paycheck or the size of his bank account. Wealth is a tool, a means to an end. What really matters to him, what separates the true leaders from the followers, is control. Control over his environment, control over his reputation, and most importantly, control over how he is treated by others. In this case, the hotel had been a symbol of elitism, a place where people like him were supposed to be treated with the utmost respect. But when they turned him away, they stripped him of that respect. They made a decision about who he was without even knowing his full story. The billionaire could have let it go. He could have simply walked away, finding another place to stay, but that wasn't his style. This wasn't just about getting a room for the night. This was about a principle he would not let go unchallenged. He wanted to show the world that respect isn't something you demand, it's something you earn. But even more than that, he wanted to prove that sometimes the best way to make a point is not by raising your voice or starting a confrontation. Sometimes, real power comes from quiet, decisive action. He had already built an empire, and through that, he had earned his place at the top. But like many powerful individuals, he knew that what got him to the top wouldn't necessarily keep him there. In fact, there are many who, once they achieve a certain level of success, become targets. People who either envy them, misunderstand them, or simply want to see them fail. For the billionaire, this hotel represented something more than just a fancy building. It was a symbol of how the world often treats those at the top. Sometimes, you're only as good as how others perceive you. And if people, especially those in the service industry, can dismiss you so easily, how secure are you really in your position? That was the message he was sending. The game is about respect, not just the size of your wealth. And he was about to make sure that no one would ever make the mistake of underestimating him again. Buying the hotel wasn't just a way to make a point. It was a way to take control of the narrative. It might seem extreme to some, buying an entire hotel over a single encounter. But for the billionaire, this was the perfect way to send a message that would resonate with both the public and the staff at the hotel. In his world, actions speak louder than words, and this was a chance to prove just how much power he had. Of course, it wasn't just about revenge or getting back at the hotel for rejecting him. For the billionaire, this move was also about taking ownership of a situation where he had been denied. By purchasing the hotel, he didn't just get a new business asset, he got a statement. He now controlled the place that had once turned him away. Every inch of it was his, from the lobby to the penthouses. But more than that, He controlled how people would now view him in relation to the hotel. The world would know that when you turn away someone like him, you're not just losing a guest, you're losing everything that comes with it. For him, this wasn't just about punishing those who had refused him. It was about making sure that no one ever had the power to reject him again. It wasn't about showing them who was boss. It was about showing them who could take control when others tried to take it away. In a world where power is constantly shifting, where success is fragile, he had made sure that his place at the top was secure. By owning the hotel, he had essentially made himself the king of his own domain. No one could challenge that. But it was also a test of how far he could push the limits and see whether the world would continue to treat him with the respect he felt he deserved. After all, when you've worked your entire life to build an empire, you reach a point where it's not about the money anymore. It's about more than the deals and the transactions. It's about acknowledgement. It's about earning the recognition you believe you're entitled to. The billionaire knew that in the world of the super rich, respect isn't always given. Sometimes you have to take it. And so he quietly took control. By purchasing the hotel, he not only secured his own place in the elite circle, but also sent a message to those who thought they could dismiss him. In the grand scheme of things, buying a hotel might seem like a small thing, but in his world, it was a powerful move that shifted the balance of power. It wasn't just a personal win. It was a lesson in how to operate in a world where power dynamics are constantly changing, and control is everything. Now the hotel was his, and the world knew it. Everyone involved in that initial rejection, from the staff to the management, would always remember the moment when they turned away the wrong person. That single act of refusal had cost them more than they could have ever imagined. It was a perfect example of how one decision, one moment, could change everything. For the billionaire, this wasn't just a financial transaction. It was the ultimate reminder that sometimes the best way to make your mark isn't through confrontation. It's through quiet, unshakable control. In the end, the hotel wasn't just a luxury asset, it was a symbol. A reminder of what happens when you push back against someone who's already reached the top and has the power to change the world around them. And now, the billionaire's name was forever linked to the hotel, not as a guest, but as the owner. The man who had been refused service, only to buy the hotel the very next day. That moment, that decision, would echo through the corridors of that hotel forever.